Hey everyone, I'm Devin. Welcome back to another Board Game Co. preview, and this is KO Corral, the game of aim and fame from Jack's Wild Games. I'm going to show you the rule book because I can't really show you the box because the box is currently attached to the board. And if you're wondering what I mean there, you can see the actual connection point, and you might say, why is there a physical construct that attaches the box to the game? And I can tell you it's because if you are flicking dice, which is what you're doing in this game, that is not a high enough barrier for sometimes the velocity and also the trajectory of the dice that you are flicking. And so the name of the game of aim and fame, or the aim of the game of aim and fame, is to be the last outlaw, or the first outlaw really, to make your tracks go all the way to 10 there. So if you can see on the top-down cam, we've got Bobby Cats over here. This is the gold track, the fame track, and your horse track. All of these have to be at 10 in order for you to win. How do you advance in those? Well, you advance in those in taking out outlaws and also taking out the other marshals or the other players. So I'm going to show this outlaw here who is Kurt Lasso. When you knock down Kurt Lasso, you're going to get 2 fame, 1 gold, as long as whatever bullet dice you shoot at it lands on a skull. Now you might be saying, what are you even talking about? Well, I'm talking about these dice over here that you are going to be launching off of this horse here, which is quite insane when you think about it. And it's a 50-50 shot to get the skull, so it's a pretty good chance that if you happen to knock Kurt Lasso over, you're going to be getting those rewards. Alternatively, if you're fighting any other outlaw that gives you different abilities, and it lands on either the gold or the fame or the bullet, the fame and the gold will help you on your tracks, and the bullet will allow you to keep shooting, which is sometimes necessary, because at the end of the day, this is tough. This track that I have here that you can see 1 through 10 on, that has the horse that you shoot these dice off of, that's actually at quite a distance from the box here. I mean, obviously this is a compressed version of what we're talking about, but typically you would have this box like 3 feet away or something, based off of the measurements of this ruler here or this shooting platform. And that is quite a distance. And so you're going to be taking your bullets that you hopefully will roll off of your horse here, which will be at an increasing distance away. The further you get along your horse track, the further you are. You start off the game over here at 1, which is a very sensible distance to shoot from. And you'll progress along this track the further your horse track grows. And so what you're doing is you're rolling these dice here. You're going to be rolling these dice, and when you roll them, you have up to 2 additional rerolls, so 3 rolls total. Anytime you see a black face, that has to stay where it is. If it shows an outlaw, that is actually what loads these outlaws onto the board itself. Prior to you rolling those, there aren't any outlaws from the deck until you draw them and place them based off of that symbol. If you additionally roll a black snake, that does nothing, so this is not a good roll. You don't want snakes to pop up. But then the white-sided dice also will be doing some other stuff. So bullets, numerically, are the amount of bullets you'll be able to shoot off of the horse over here. Your horse is how you bump up the horse track, which advances you on one of the 3 tracks to victory, but then also, at the end of the day, makes it further and further away in which you're flicking. And then this kind of sheriff symbol here is when you're placing the other character's standee on the board here. So I'm going to actually flip it to the front cam. Typically I would be on top cam a lot to show you what's going on, but this is a very kinetic game. And so when you're shooting in the OK or KO Corral, you're shooting from away towards this backdrop here, and your aim is to knock over the thugs or knock over the bandits, and if you ever put another player's marker up there, knock them over as well. It has to be fully knocked over though for you to collect the points of these thugs. So for example, if your dice simply pushes the thug and it goes back like that, it's not going to give you the points. Similarly, if it twists it to the side, that doesn't do anything for you. And if it leans against the back here, still does not give you the points. You have to fully knock over these standees. Now, that may be a little bit easier on your other players there, but sometimes for these thugs, it's quite difficult. For example, this horrible individual, Claude Von Snap, he's got a dual symbol, which means in the same turn you have to knock him down twice. Now, again, you might be thinking, hey, I play a lot of dexterity games. This doesn't sound that hard. It can be hard. This is a 30-minute game for 2 to 4 players, and it is quite absurd. It's quite absurd. It's a bunch of fun. It's goofy, and really, truly, the further you get back on the horse track, and it also depends on what kind of surface you're playing on. Alex's table upstairs has a similarly soft area in which we were playing, and that actually created some crazy bounces, which sometimes bounced into the enemy, but also sometimes launched upwards. And it makes sense as to why this backdrop is here, because you will need it sometimes. It's a goofy game, and there's a whole deck of these bandits, and so they all have different criteria for how you need to kill them, but also the types of rewards they give. And then as soon as it's your choice, depending on the amount of players that are there, you're allowed to choose which of those characters gets put in whenever the occasion arises. And again, first person to 10 gold, 10 fame, and 10 on the horse track, also, that will be the winner. Fame you can get from knocking over the bandits, but you also get fame if you happen to knock over your opponent, unless if you don't want fame for knocking over an opponent, you can actually steal a gold from them, in which case you lower on one track and then raise on your track. And that's pretty much it. This is KO Corral from Jack's Wild Games. It is straightforward, it is simple, it is a manic time. And if your finger is going to be hurting by the end of it, because you are flicking these dice full send across the table to make sure you can take out these bandits and any of your enemies or opponents who get in the way. So take out your rivals, take out the bandits, and be the best person at the KO Corral. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys. This was another Board Game Co. preview, and you will be able to check this game out. We'll have the links that you need in the description. Have a good one. Bye.